Welcome to the Z-Hut's Mad Scientist Laboratory. I'm Professor Z, and today we're going to attempt to take over the world using Arduinos. Grab your favorite Arduino board and put on your tinfoil hat, because it's time to build. Today, we will be attempting to take over the world by building this LED matrix scrolling display sign. This is a very handy little item if you have a message to be displayed, if you wanted to put this on a desk or countertop. And you can make this say whatever you want. Now, the enclosure for this is made out of 2-inch PVC. And you're going to need, I got 8 inches of PVC pipe. You're going to need 2 end caps. That's these. I went with the ones that are called knockout end caps. They fit on the inside. You can also get caps that fit on the outside. Either one will work. My preference was to go with the knockout, the internal ones. You are going to need a LED matrix display. Look in the description below and you'll find a link to this project's webpage, and on there will be information where to get this particular display. If you use a different LED matrix display, the libraries and stuff that we will be using probably won't work right. And when we do get to the library, there's 2 little things you got to change in the library. And it's just settings. It's nothing hard. Don't worry, there's nothing hard about it. I will actually have a link to another video on how to do those settings, because it was done by another YouTuber and he did it really good. There's no sense me going over and doing the same thing. You can just check his video out and it shows you in the library and to edit it, and it's super simple. Don't worry. Don't be discouraged from building this because you got to do a little modification in the library. It's just there's different settings and you just got to change 2 of them. The other thing we will need is a power supply and a power jack. And I'm just using a wall wart. You could try to run this off batteries, but I don't recommend it. And then I have a corresponding power plug or power jack for the power adapter I'm using. You're going to need 2 screws. And you're going to need some jumper wires. And you're going to need, I recommend an Arduino Nano for this. You could try to use the Pro Mini, but the nice thing about using the Nano, you can see it right here. You can plug right into it to program if you want to change the message this is displaying. Without having, with the Pro Mini, you got to have that USB adapter. And then, of course, we're going to need some jumper wires. And also on the back side of the LED matrix display, you can't really see it here, but I took and I put black tape over the back of it so that if the Arduino board accidentally touches it, it's not shorting out and causing a problem. The only other things you'll need, I used a little bit of hot glue to glue the LED display in. It doesn't have screw holes that you could really use to mount it in the 2-inch PVC pipe. You'd have to have large, very long standoffs, and it'd be difficult. So I just hot glue gunned it. Then I took and ran a bead of caulking, and then took my finger and smoothed it out. And after it all dried, I painted it. To paint it, you just simply tape off the the LED matrix display, and you tape off your power jack. I actually painted mine before I put the bottom on, made it simpler. Now, for the construction of the enclosure itself, you just take your rotary tool and you measure. Let me double check here. My display is 1 1/4 by 5 1/8. I do believe I measured that right. Now, if you, like I said, if you use a different LED matrix, the libraries and stuff probably ain't gonna work. I will have a link to get this one. This is a very common display, LED matrix display, and it's I recommend just going with this one. They're not very expensive at all. I do believe this one was like $7. But then you take your rotary tool, Dremel, if you got a name brand one, they do make generics, and you take and you cut the hole out for the LED matrix, and then you save that piece, and that's what we used to make the stand for this. Now, you're probably not going to get it cut perfectly. I took afterwards and sanded it and cleaned it up, and then I took and held it down flat on a piece of sandpaper, and that's why you see here it's white in those two little edges. You can't see that once it's sitting, but I did that to clean it up and make it so it sits level and doesn't rock. It's not wobbly. With that, I mean, pretty much the rest of the construction of it, it's pretty apparent how it's all put together and done. And then to program it, you can just pull your side off. Do not glue your cap on, whether you use the inside or the over the tube cap. Do not glue that on, because you will not be able to get in here then and program the Arduino. Also, before you glue in the LED display, put your power jack in. It's a lot simpler. When I constructed my enclosure, I forgot to do that, so I had to use a very, very long pair of needle nose pliers. Was able to do it, but it was not as easy as if I would not have had the display already put in. All right. With that, I think we can go over to the computer, and we'll take a look at the Arduino code for making the text scroll on here. And like I said, the libraries we're going to be using, if you go to the project's webpage, I will have a link on there to how to do the modification on the library. And if I remember and have time, I will go ahead and copy my library that's been already modified and done, and I'll put it up on Google Drive or something like that, so that you can just download it and not have to do anything. If I forget about that and you look in the webpage, can't find it, leave a comment below, remind me, but I'll try to remember to go ahead and put that on there. So if you want to build this and not mess around with it, we'll simplify it and I'll help you out. All right, I'm going to fire the computer up. We'll go over there and we'll take a look at the code. The code's pretty simple, straightforward. There's only really a couple little things you want to change, like the scrolling speed and what you want it to say. Other than that, you're not going to want to really change anything. So, all right, I'm going to get the computer turned on, and I'll catch you over there in just a moment. All right, I've got the Arduino Sketch up, and I also went and checked on the website. I will have the modified version of file. It's the .h file. You might still want to watch that other video that shows the changes. Otherwise, I will have a link to a video I did quite a while back on just the display itself It didn't have to do with this enclosure, but in that video it does go through and shows you how to take that file and put it into the library so that you don't have to change anything. All right, with that, to get the copy of the sketch along with those files, just once again look in the description below. You'll find a link to this project's webpage. Just go there and you can find it. Now, there is not really much you're going to want to change on here. We are putting the CLK pin is on pin 13 of the Arduino. The data pin goes to pin 11 on the Arduino, and the CS pin goes to pin 10 on the Arduino. I don't recommend changing any of them. You could try. Just remember, if you do change them, to change it here as well in the sketch. Now, then the libraries, these two, you will find those on the web page, links to how to get them. The SPI.h is already built into your Arduino IDE. You don't have to worry about downloading that. All right, with that, nothing else down here. I wouldn't really mess or change with anything. You can play with the scroll pause if you want. The way I have it set, it seems to work the best. If you go through the info on the library and do some research, you can change these numbers to change the scrolling direction and stuff. But you're probably going to want to just leave it as it is. The only thing you're really going to want to change is right here between the quotation marks there. I have the welcome to the Z Hut, which is what my display was displaying. You will change this. Just remember to leave the quotation marks there and put whatever you want the sign to scroll in there. Now, if you go to upload this and you get an error because you copied and pasted this off the website to your Arduino IDE, if you're getting an error, go and delete the quotation marks on both sides and then retype them in. Don't copy and paste off the web page. For some reason, some of the special characters and stuff, once they're put onto, I'm using WordPress, you put it on there and then you try to bring it back, copy it, and then paste it back into the Arduino IDE. It just changes slightly and it doesn't recognize it. So that is how to fix that. And the text speed, you can play with that, but I have found that the 50 works pretty good. I would recommend just leaving it right there. All right, I can't think of anything else to go over. If I forgot anything, I'll put info on the web page, so make sure to check that out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Would appreciate it very much. So with that, we'll wrap this up, and I'd just like to say, have a great day. Thanks for joining us here today, and remember, and this is very, very, very important, to always wear your tinfoil hat, because we don't want the government and the men in black to know what we're up to.